Flipboard, the world's first digital social magazine, now has more than 5.5 million downloads. The company recently expanded into China and launched its first iPhone app, racking up 1 million downloads in just 1 week. I sat down with the company's CEO, McCue, earlier today to talk about the reaction to the new app.
The reaction was amazing, just amazing. People downloaded it en masse. We've now got well over 1 million users using Flipboard for the iPhone, and that's in under a week. We did have some challenges with our servers early on with the load, but we're past that now. I think we're just fine.
Now, Zeit, a competitor, released an iPhone app shortly after you did. You know,
right.
What do you see out there in terms of the demand to read a Flipboard or a Zeit or an e-reader on a screen as small as an iPhone?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think people, when they have a phone, they want to have a single place to check to get all the things that they care about. Predominantly what we're about is pulling together all of your social networks. So all the things your friends are sharing with you on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Tumblr, pulling all that together in one really easy to flip through feed, like a stack of cards, that when you're standing in line waiting for coffee, you can just sort of see, oh, there's some pictures of my best friends from a wedding that we were at over the weekend, and then, oh, and here's some interesting news about, something that I'm interested in technology. Oh, and then here's some status updates from a friend of mine in high school that I haven't talked to in years, right? So there's a mix of things that people want to be able to get all on this little device. It's amazing when you flip through something and it's presented beautifully on a small device, you actually forget that it's a small screen for a while, and you can actually read quite a bit of stuff even on a small screen like the iPhone. A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's a very high-res screen, too, so it's easy to read.
You recently expanded into China, your first country. Despite challenges that many internet companies have had working in China, Facebook and Twitter are both blocked there. Google has pulled out of the country. How did you get it done, and how's it going so far?
Yeah, we are really excited about what we did in China. It's time now to start to bring Flipboard to other regions. We want to create content and have an experience that is compelling for lots of different people in these different regions. And so we're starting to internationalize the offering. And we thought about which country should we start with. And China is the fastest growing market, other than the US, for apps in the App Store for iOS, for iPad and iPhone. People are buying iPads and iPhones like crazy in China. And so we thought that would be a great place to start. We also had an opportunity to partner with Sina and RenRen, the two largest social networks in China. And that was a really great opportunity. So we wanted to seize on that and focus and do China right, really spend a lot of time thinking about what the local audience would like. Got a lot of coaching from Sina and RenRen about how to enter the market, and so it's been going very well. We're #1 in our category. The app is being downloaded like crazy in China right now. We were App of the Week. Apple featured us as App of the Week, so we're off to a really great start.
So how do you plan to manage that relationship, with your Chinese partners, given the censorship issues, given the difficulties that other businesses have had working with the Chinese government?
That's a great question. What we're trying to do is really be sensitive to what works in China with the Chinese government. And this is why partnering with Sina and RenRen was so critical to our strategy here, is that Sina and RenRen know how to work with the government. The content that they have on those networks effectively is content that has been vetted and is okay as far as the government is concerned. So that's the content that you see on Flipboard. It's a tremendous amount of content. And you can get to lots of different kinds of news sources. You can follow your friends there, just like you can in the United States. But by working with those companies, we're able to really not have to do a lot of that heavy lifting ourselves.
There is a lot of competition out there. I mentioned Zeit. Pulse is now preloaded on the Kindle Fire. Google has launched its own thing, Google Currents.
Right.
What's your take on Google's potential to do an offering like this?
Well, Google is focused very much on personalized news aggregation, which I think is a piece of the puzzle. But what I was saying before is that what people really want is all the stuff that they care about in one place. So, with Flipboard for the iPhone, we introduced something called Cover Stories, which really takes, things that your best friends are sharing with you on Instagram and Facebook, might be photographs, really interesting stories that are really important and interesting to you uniquely, and pull those all together in one feed. Google really is just doing this for news. They're not friendly with Facebook and a lot of these other social networks. They're trying to build their own social network, in fact. So they're not really in a good position to pull together these social networks. And so what they're doing and what we're doing is really quite different as a result.
You're also on the board of Twitter. They just went through a big redesign. What was the goal with this redesign, and how is it going so far? What's the reaction been?
Well, the goal was to simplify and build something that really can be the foundation of really dramatically accelerating the pace of innovation for Twitter all through 2012, and they're really in a great position to do that now.
There has been a lot of turnover at Twitter recently, especially some senior employees. As a board member, what's the story there? And does that concern you?
Well, any company that's growing quickly, and Twitter is definitely growing quickly, is going to go through change. It's just part of what happens when you're building a startup or a company. And, that's just one of the things that is a part of the maturation process. I really think that the team that Dick and the CEO have assembled is really quite impressive, and very, very excited about the progress that company has been making. I think that they're not afraid to make the big changes that they need to make to move forward, and I really respect that about them.
That was McCue, CEO of Flipboard.